Hey everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's in the Tube, or welcome back. If this is your 8th Walker Season 4 episode review, I'm very sad to report that after months of talking about it, years of it being on the air, the decades that Jared Padalecki has been on the CW as a linear existent, whether that was Gilmore Girls during the early 2000s or Supernatural for 15 years and now Walker, that I'm afraid that after all that time, sadly, at least from what we're aware of, Jared Padalecki's time with the CW will be coming to an end by the end of June, as officially, sadly, Walker has been canceled. We are not getting season 5. We're wrapping up the show at the end of June. It will be now not just the season 4 finale, it will be the series finale. And yeah, I want to take a minute before we jump into the proper episode review. So if you can skip ahead a little bit if you don't want to hear my very drowner thoughts. I feel like everyone on the internet has already been talking about this since Monday. Yeah, it fucking sucks. I apologize for my it really freaking sucks that this is the time period we're in, that the aspect of television is changing, since 2019, 2020, where first it was either leadership changes, and to get into these new times where things that they presume we don't want to see anymore, they take it away, or, the pandemic changed some things, then the strikes changed a lot of things. And, we're still in a very, rough transition period of, what does TV, especially on broadcast, look like going forward? And that the fact that we've lost so many great shows in the last 2 years for many different reasons, and this being more of a financial reason. And I said this before many times. I understand that the owners at CW, now the Next Star company, are focusing on profitability first, and they don't care about the long term. They care about short term. They want to save money now, report bigger numbers in the beginning, and then if a show has to be spending less money now, like right now, they don't care about anything else. And again, when it comes to business, everyone has different opinions. That's why when you get a new CEO, when you get a new corporate president, there's going to be a difference, because, they have a different mindset. When Bob Iger left Disney, Bob Chapek came in, he had a different vision of seeing things, whether people like it or not. And, I think this is just the one case right now where a lot of people don't like it. We already lost Superman Lois in terms of just the knowing that we're not getting any more. It wasn't a James Gunn decision. It was CW, because they didn't want to spend the money. They rather Warner Brothers foot more of the bill. Like, okay, we have no problem airing the show on our network. We have no problem at all, but we're going to keep at this. This is our cap. This is how much we're going to pay for each episode. That's it. And maybe it worked for this year, but then, on the long term, they're like, it's going to cost them way more money. They're going to lose more money out of this. And it sucks that the reason why Walker ended wasn't because the show got bad, that the ratings dipped. It was because of economics. And it freaking sucks. It really does suck. And I heard that this is not that expensive to make, but that, again, CBS Studios, who makes Walker, has to run their business model as well. And if they're paying more money than the actual network to make the show, then what are they doing? The whole point is that they're trying to sell a show to a network, and then they both get things at the back end. But in reality, it's the whole business model right now with broadcast TV is becoming more and more tricky. It is becoming more and more difficult as, more shows, more networks are switching over to reality programming, game show programming, or the streaming platforms that I don't know where broadcast TV goes from here. I really don't. I'm acting like Walker's gonna break the mold. It's not, but it's part of the decline where we're getting less and less original scripted. We're still seeing it, but the days of getting 6 or 7 pilots a year per network are over. We're just not there anymore. And you could say the pandemic screwed things up, and then the strike screwed things up. But the writing was already on the wall for a while, and it's for me, like, I'm still seeing Superman Lois this fall on CW, so I'm not quite done with the network. Yeah, but once that's done, I don't have anything else to watch. Like, I've been reviewing CW shows since then I've been reviewing shows on this platform. And the fact is, after 2024, at least how I'm aware of the situation, that we won't be getting anymore. I won't be seeing it anymore because there's just nothing to watch. And that's no disrespect to All American, to Homecoming, to the CBC acquisition. I'm not saying they're bad shows, but for me and for majority of the fans, that was it. That was the last straw. You take away so many of our shows. And again, I understand. I get to the extent like they want to switch over to a different demographic. They want to switch to an older male audience, and Walker, for some reason, being the one that would kind of get the most sense out of that demographic, for it to be canceled first of the last three still on the air, and they're willing to keep All American going. Maybe it's just, it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. It really doesn't, and it just sucks. It really, really does suck. But I don't want to keep anything going on longer. I want to say thank you to Jared Padalecki. Thank you to the cast, the crew behind Walker. You've delivered some amazing moments throughout the last 3 seasons, now going into the 4th. And it just really sucks. This has to be the end. It really sucks. That I've heard they already crafted the season finale as like a series finale. So we should have some sort of closed-endness to the story. Which again, I find, okay, thank God, but at the same time, like, I felt like they could have kept going a little longer. I felt like it, that they could have told a couple more stories to tell. I don't think this would have went for 15 seasons like Supernatural did, but I definitely could have seen 7. Like, I definitely could have seen that, keep going for a while longer. But the fact that come 6 weeks from now, we'll be done. It hasn't sunk into me yet. It hasn't. So that really, really does suck. But no, I'm I'm not happy. It fucking sucks. I apologize for the cursing. It's a TV-14 show, so I apologize. But, yeah, it does really, really suck. We'll talk more about that later, about what happens next. But for now going into this episode, this proper episode, review, I thought it was good. I definitely feel like it's more of a awareness problem episode than more like, a progression episode. I feel like the last couple of weeks have been like, we're making some big advancements, and as much as Walker likes to go at its own pace, we definitely need to take moments to like slow down a little bit, kind of like catch up with the characters, kind of figure out where the board is like staying in until we move into the next pieces. As we are approaching the final 5, we are approaching the final 5 episodes of the series, that we kind of need to start getting to some resolutions, but just a quick moment to like see where everyone's at, where we're standing here is kind of like it's needed to like kind of reset things and reset the board a little bit, and like now have a clear path going forward, which is what this episode did. With both the necklace front and then the jackal front, it wasn't really like we got the big oh my god moments, but we were getting like kind of filling out the hole a little bit, as well as expanding some of the relationships with the characters as as we progress forward to like not just like trying to figure out what is next in their respective cases, but as well as what does the future look like beyond when this is over. And I think that honestly that's still very much fun tropes to play at. I definitely did enjoy this episode a lot. I'm just like, I'm starting to itch, I'm at a crossroads here where like I'm itching to find out how it's all going to wrap up. What are the big revelations? Who's the jackal? Where's the necklace? But at the same time, I don't want it to end because I don't want to say goodbye to the show. So we sadly reached that point where that's how we're doing things. That's how we're doing things right now. But no, with that being said, let's go for the Butcher recap and talk about this week's episode of Walker. So I want to say we begin with, I believe we begin with Cassie waking up the next morning. I think her and Luna had just had another night of making love, or at least the newfound domesticated bliss that they found in each other. I guess literally he just moved them right away, which I'm like, damn, the dude literally got room and board free. It's funny to think that. Luna apparently is not really interested in going to work today. He's more interested in like just trying to get some bedtime with Cassie, in both aspects of it. But Cassie's like, no, they gotta go to work. Walker should be out today, so we gotta kind of carry the ship a little bit today. The 3 of us making some headway now that we got all this new jackal evidence from the lair they found last week. And Luna's like, okay, that's fine. But Cassie does drop one more thing on him that as Cassie is becoming more and more sure about this relationship specifically for her, that she wants to introduce him to her brother. And honestly, Luna's actually game for this. He's actually pretty pleased with the idea. It's like, yeah, let's do it. Like, he's confident in this relationship too. That they're gonna make some like big moves together. Then why not? Let's get to meet the family. Because Cassie's he's kind of already met the work family, considering the fact they met before she was even in the picture. And yeah, now so it's time for her to meet her brother. Maybe hopefully eventually down the road her mother. And but that's great that he's already on board. That they already got like a plan in place for all that. Stella's at her dorm room, kind of finally doing some homework, which I'm just like, I feel like this woman has not done an ounce of homework since she started college. Which again, I understand the attack has been rough for her, but I'm just like, still, if you're going to college, you should know how to like, okay, if I'm not mentally ready for this, I should not spend my money as well as my dad's money, to like not only go to the school, but also to like, dorm on campus when like, again, she's not that far from home. Like, I get. We're not gonna get into this. There's a knock on the door. It's Wilt. He's out of hiding. Apparently, the necklace big bad has finally found him. Her name is Joanna, which again, it's not Joe. It's nothing related to me, but like Joanna. Still close enough. Still close enough in my books. Yeah, so Wilt's like, they found him and they're gonna find her, and now they gotta find the necklace today. Like, the necklace thing has to be resolved today, otherwise, we're gonna die. And obviously, Stella doesn't really, like, take that much of, like, a big impact to her, because, like, again, like, they've really made no progress. Like, the last thing they heard about the necklace was that Uncle Hoyt had it, and that's about it. They met this Duke guy, and again, that's about it. That's all that they wrote. That was all they were able to uncover from their previous investigative efforts. But obviously for Wilt, that's not enough. They need to find the necklace now, and that's what they need to do, because like again, however difficult or how scary this Joanne person is, like it's their lives, and the fact that they already found Wilt once or at least twice, that the fact that they might find him again is going to be easy for them. So they got to find this now. And okay, Stella's like, okay, well, let's see what we can do. Let's kind of scrounge up some aspects and see if we can like discover things together. And as they're about to leave out of the college to start looking for like whatever they got to do now, sadly Joanna's goons jumped them. Not the best ones, considering the fact they didn't really try to get Stella. They just wanted Wilt, and Stella was easily just like able to like run away like a few cars over, and then just like, we don't got time with this. Let's just take the kid already. And I'm just like, this campus security is awful. Like, it's really, really awful. The fact they've let a guy break into a girl's dormitory, and at the second time that they let this mysterious van get into this campus without proper credentials. I mean, maybe they did, but like, or falsified credential, but Stella passed on that one. And Stella's reaction to all this is just like, okay, I'm just gonna go home and like figure this out. Back at Ranger HQ, the team now led by Captain James for the moment, as they're presumably Cordell's gonna take a little time off to like recuperate from his injury, kind of like reset his mind, kind of come back to this case nice and fresh, and they're about to start digging through all this new Jackal evidence that they have. However, sadly, Walker does show up, as he is cleared CT-wise. Like, he has no brain problems. He has no major injuries, no concussion. He's ready to go back to work and ready to, like, now really sink into this. Like, now they're really cooking. They got all this new evidence, all new angles to pursue. And, he's ready to get into it. However, sadly, their original suspected person they thought was a Jackal was dead. They found a body at the zoo, and it belonged to the guy. And now their suspected person is not the suspected person; he's just another victim. And now they're like, damn, they're like in a way back to square one in terms of like having a name, which they don't have at this point. James orders everyone to get out of the room and just like give him some space with Cordell, and he does let him know, like, you've been through a lot. Obviously, again, we were close to getting the guy. We didn't. We understand that it sucks, but at the same time, like, he's kind of feeling that same reciprocal energy that James had when he was exploring this case a little too much. And now Cordell is experiencing those symptoms, and he thinks it's best, like, not an injury wise, but like a wellness wise, for him to, like, take the day off, kind of focus on himself again, spend time with his family, just kind of, shut up the investigative part of your brain and just kind of like kind of just relax. You know, you gotta have to enjoy these moments of like relaxation when you can, because like, you know, when, you know, things actually hit the fan again, you know, you gotta take care of it. But at least right now, James wants him to rest. Cordell doesn't, but James like, that's an order. You're gonna do it, and that's final. So Cordell has no choice but to like grumble off back to his house and continue his own little private investigation on his own, trying to figure out something, because like, you know, again, he got the one accidental victory with the zoo, and now he's gonna think, oh, everything I'm gonna say now has to be connected now. So I gotta think about what's the next thing. What's the next thing I can really like piece together right now? What's the next thing? I want to see what else do we have around here. No, I think the next thing would be Trey gets to visit yeah, so Trey visits Cordell, trying to like apologize to him for like, you know, being benched, and but then, you know, they're gonna take care of it. You know, him casting Luna, they'll make some moves on their own. You know, just be patient. Then once Cordell's clear to come back, you know, get some rest, and you know, then they'll be able to fill in Cordell again. But Cordell really wants to be there. He really wants to be on the front lines on this one, and you know, he's kind of begging Trey at this point, like, you know, bring me some evidence, like bring me something so I can work out here at home. And he's like, nah, dude, like that's being locked up the key. Like, you know, they're not letting the eyes off those pieces. So you're kind of just gonna have to like take James's word and just relax, take the day, do something. Thankfully, Liam comes in, and he's just like, go for a jog with Liam. Like, you know, take your mind on it. Go for a run. Go sprint around the ranch. Kind of like just get your mind off things. You know, that's what you really need to do right now. And Cordell's like, fine. You know what? I'll do that. Thank you. And then once he leaves, he just tells Liam, oh, don't worry about that. I'm definitely not doing that jog. I'm gonna sit back, do all this work, and get to it. But they do address their argument last night with that whole blow up. And Cordell, let's apologize to an extent. It's still not quite a full apology, but you know, Liam will take it. And you know, despite their brief reconciliation, Cordell's is like, okay, we're good. Okay, now I'm gonna go work on this. So you go do you. I'm gonna go do me, and we'll catch up later. And obviously, Liam's is a bit concerned, considering the fact he did just promise Trey that he was gonna go for a jog, and he's not keeping that promise. So he quickly catches up to Trey, lets him know his suspicions. Even Trey has like a couple of them on his own. So they're going to bring this up with James and see if there's anything that they could do right now to like kind of like try to nip this in the bud before it gets even worse. Even bringing up some old aspect of like, you know, Cordell's state of mind the last time he was kind of like deep into a case with the whole with the, I forgot the names of the gang they were going with, but when he was Duke basically. So that was the last time things have gone wrong, even like gone far to the point where like, you know, Cordell wrote letters to his kids in the event he does get blown in his cover and gets killed. So, which August overhears everything. So now he kind of goes on his own private detective mode, trying to figure out some things about his dad. And that's when Stella comes in, and they kind of compare notes a little bit. They're like, yeah, it's not 100% there, you know, right now. So I think maybe we need to take a moment and kind of like, you know, just catch him on him. But however, the part that he mentions to Stella about the letters definitely brings up Stella something, considering the fact that she has to go find the necklace now, which again, the woman literally just saw a man get stolen right in front of her, and her first response is like, I'm gonna go back home. Which I'm just like, damn, Wilt, you ain't got no rescue. There ain't no rescue party for you over here. There ain't nothing in that. Speaking of which, we go to a random building in the middle of Austin. Wilt's being held hostage. The real Joanna shows up, basically just demanding for the necklace, asking where is it, and I'm just like, the man literally is handcuffed to a chair. I don't quite think he has the necklace, otherwise he wouldn't be in this position. And Joanna's like, okay, enough's enough. I gave you enough time. You ran away. You basically got on my last nerve, so you're gonna die today. You're gonna die. And Wilt just begs him, like, please, just, I can get the necklace tonight. Just give me a little bit more time. And she's just like, no, nah, like, you know, dead today, dead now, dead tonight. It's the same thing. So why not just kill you now? But thankfully he manages to like get a little bit extra time out of her, like just like give him a little bit more of like a time limit. And she's like, okay, but still ran away from me. So you kind of ratted on me to a random girl. So you're going to have to get punished a bit. Kind of need to do that. So sadly, Wilt does get beaten up for good measure. That's where we get a split where August goes to talk to Cordell, trying to get him involved in like some bogus photography project to see if like Cordell can actually step away from his work. Cordell's a little hesitant right now to do so, but thankfully August does try to tap into those like that please face, and Cordell's like, okay, fine, let's go, let's do this quick. And yeah, so thankfully Cordell's gonna finally be pulled away from this very tiny room in his house, like finally get some sunshine, some vitamin D up in here. Vitamin D or vitamin C? No, vitamin C. My bad. I don't know why I was thinking vitamin D. Meanwhile, Stella goes to talk to Liam about the letters, and Liam does admit that yeah. So, Hoyt did visit Cordell during the early days of his undercover op, and he did give the letters to Hoyt, and Hoyt was supposed to pass them on to Liam to hold on for safekeeping. However, Liam didn't want to take them because he didn't want to accept the reality where Cordell could be dead, and he has these basically break in case of death letters ready to go. So he didn't really want to hold on to them, so he just denied them and just threw Hoyt out of the house. So Hoyt, where the necklace was and the letters when, we don't really know. We don't know. And that kind of now leads to another dead end for Stella. Okay, what else could they have left? The only other new clue that Stella can maybe muster out of Liam is the fact that, at the time, Hoyt was working at the club that we saw back in season 1. So that could possibly be an in. Possibly. So that's when Stella finally calls up Wilt. Wilt managed to escape their custody. Somehow, I really don't know how he did that. The man surprised me. Let's just say that much. So they meet up at night. Stella sees all of Wilt's injuries, but he's like, it's okay. I've dealt with worse. So now it's like, you called me for a reason. So what's up? So Stella wants to explore now the abandoned strip club to see if there's any sort of maybe he hid the stuff there. Maybe, not sure. So they head over there, and it's kind of weird to see a season 1 location again after so long. Obviously it's abandoned. There's no people there. We're not going to pay for those extras. We don't have to pay for those secondary actors. So it's just those two exploring the locker area. They find Hoyt's old locker. They break into it, but sadly there's just nothing but outfits in there. No necklace, no letters. So they kind of reach a dead end there. So they're about to leave out of there, but sadly one of Joanna's people already is there to kind of jump on them, which it was a little scary considering the fact Will gets taken out a little bit easily, and thankfully Stella uses her newfound physical defense moves to protect herself, but sadly it's not enough against the goon of the week. But thankfully Will comes back to kind of knock him out, so the two of them can escape and get out of the situation. Sadly, with no necklace in hand. Cordell and August are walking through the park trying to find this old spot that Emily took with Cordell just days before her death. The last photo she ever took of Cordell. And during this time, Cordell is there. He's kind of finally realized, oh, there's Mother Nature. There's people outside. Is this what I've been missing while I've been holed up trying to be in full detective mode? But then also he's kind of have this paranoia effect where he's now looking around him trying to see if hey, that guy looks suspicious. That's a weird movement. He's now really on edge. He's just on edge to a T. Thankfully, they do find their spot. They have a little bit of fun trying to recreate some photos, recreating that actual shot. They do have some fun over there, but Cordell notices something behind August, so he quickly acts. He attacks this dude, which wasn't even a shooter, wasn't even a bad guy. He was just a camera. It was a photographer as well, just trying to take a picture of the park. And yeah, it's a bit you kind of jumped the gun there. Cordell boy, you kind of jumped the gun there on that one. He apologizes to August on his behavior, that this is not professional, this is not what a son should be seeing out of his father. And honestly, again, August being more mature, being more grown up a little bit, he does understand I understand you're not yourself right now. I understand. I'm not going to blame you for that, but you do need to talk to someone. You need help. This isn't a problem that you're going to be able to fix easily. So that's all I would recommend right now. That's all he can really muster to his dad right now about the subject. We get a scene where for some reason Ben and Cassie are cooking up a meal in the middle of the day, and that's when Cassie pops the question to Ben of would you like to be my boyfriend? And Ben's like, oh my God, you never introduced me to any of your boyfriends. And I'm just like, well, first time for something. It's special. She definitely has some actual, progress potential here. So definitely for him to like, get the lay of the land, get the brotherly seal of approval would be great. So he agrees to do that. So the two of them bring their respective partners to the side step, get some drinks on, kind of get some conversation juices flowing, and Ben's asking some pretty tough questions. Got to ask the brotherly questions. Some are easy, some are not. Even the most crucial one, and it's not the one you were thinking of, is of course obviously right now Luna does not live in Austin. He lives in Corpus Christi, and once the case is over, he doesn't work in Austin, so he would have to go back to Corpus. So would they be pursuing a long distance relationship? Will he have to make Cassie move up to Corpus Christi so he can maintain his career? So what's going on over there? And obviously Cassie just like shuts that down. Like, we're not even close to that idea yet. We just started this relationship. We don't need to be talking about long distance or moving into it. We don't need to be talking about that yet. And Luna's like being the chill person, just like, I have no problem answering that question. Then you see Cassie just like worried as a fox, just like, this is not the question that, she needs to be asking to her new relationship. This isn't like one of those questions. Which again, to each relationship their own, some move faster than others. The boyfriends kind of give the actual siblings a room to talk. Ben does apologize for asking a certain question, but he does want to make sure Cassie's putting her time into someone that's going to be willing to see the same future as her. And, the fact of like, long distance, it could be a lot of work. It could definitely, take a lot of energy and time, and it may not go anywhere, that you rather want to put your energy into something that is going to lead somewhere, that is going to lead to like a future together. And if that's not what he's seeing right now, then maybe it's better to ditch it before you progress even further, where it can get even harder to make that split. I want to say Stella and Will drive around. They managed to meet up again in a private spot. Stella kind of like, drops the ball on him. It's like, I know it was you. I know it was you who wrote the message. I know it was you who like broke into my dorm. I know you did this thing to like push me into the position to help you out. And Will says, yeah, I'm sorry. I needed the help. I needed someone that could help me out in this thing. And you were the only one who could do so. So I do apologize for that. But sadly, that it had to be done. Otherwise Joanna would have killed me. It would have been worse for us. And while Stella understands everything, it's just like, what happens now? Because like, they don't have any clues anymore. They don't know. They really don't know. But then Stella starts like really thinking about it that, okay, well, Hoy had no family. He had no children he didn't know about, or that he knew about prior to his death, so he wouldn't have left it to Sadie. He didn't even know about Sadie, probably speaking. And so with that being said, like, where does that leave as potential, where could he have like, left the necklace? And then he realized, well, the only person besides the Walker family was Jerry. That Jerry was that person that always was there for him. So it would make sense for her to have it. And that would also make sense to why Joanna would hire Will to go after in Jerry's place, because she would assume that it would be at Jerry's, and obviously it wasn't. So now it's like, okay, well, if it's not Jerry, it's got to be something more beyond than Jerry. What's more important than Jerry to Hoyt? But before they can even continue further with this conversation, they get a call from Joanna, and Joanna says, okay, you know what? I see your moves. I see what you're playing at. I'll make you a deal. Well, he's a free man. I won't bother him anymore. But you, Stella, you're going to be my golden goose on this. You're going to find me that necklace. You're going to bring it to me. And Stella just has no intentions of doing that. She'd rather find the necklace and destroy it herself than give it to this woman. For whatever the reason might be to why she wants this necklace, she has no real a kinship to like, to get this one. Then from there, thankfully Will is free to go. Will decides to head off into the sunset, weirdly enough, having no real reason to stay around, and he takes advantage of that. He takes, control of his life finally, while Stella now has to carry the grunt of it, and she does have an idea where the necklace might be. So, but we'll cut to more of that out of a second. Cordell, being embarrassed about the whole August thing, decided to go back to the station, kind of resume the case in the privacy of the darkness, but James kind of fought ahead and knew he was going to be there. Kind of berates Cordell for this, like, there's a reason why I wanted you to take a break. There was a reason why I benched you, and you're proving to the point why you need to be benched. And Cordell explains, like, I can't be a good friend. I can't be a good dad. I can't even be a good partner if the Jackal's still out there. Because I know that my happiness is going to cost someone else their happiness down the road. So I'd rather work my ass off, dedicate whatever little time I have left to finding this guy so I can get back to the things that I care about. And he's begging James to like give him that chance to like still work on the case, to still put all of his time into it, because that's all he really has right now to do. And James doesn't give an answer yet. He doesn't, but it does. The question is percolating in his head, like, does he approve Walker's request or not? Back at Jerry's house, Cassie and Luna are taking some downtime, building a puzzle, trying to, relax, calm down the situation. And, and Luna does admit to her, like, he has thought about moving in with her. He has thought about the future in that extent. And, right now he is working at Corpus, and then he's only on loan here until they find the Jackal. But he does tell her that he has made an official request to join the Austin PD force, and he got approved. So when the Jackal case is over, he will not have to move to Corpus. He will stay here in Austin. So he and Cassie can give this relationship a real try. And that makes him happy, the fact that they're going to really like take initiative and really like dedicate themselves into this. And honestly, that makes me happy. The fact that Cassie's finally found someone that's willing to like, make those necessary sacrifices so she can progress in her career, so that she can actually like have a chance of like real happiness. So that's great to see. Meanwhile, Stella's hunch leads her back to the side step, where she literally tears apart the entire place, looking in every little corner, looking at every little angle. She doesn't find anything, except she looks at the famous boar's head, and she looks at it. There's an indent in it. She cracks it open, and there it is, the letters. Not the necklace, sadly. She finds the letters that were supposed to be for her in August, and then he finds one more letter that was meant for Jerry. It was actually written on the back of the museum heist paperwork. And, it just reads the simplistic, I'm gone, I'm dead, will type thing, about just apologizing to her for like, they didn't have more time together. They didn't have a real chance of happiness, and that he had to break her heart so many times so that, Hoyt can continue to figure out what does he want to do so he can provide for them, which sadly never happened. But however, he does lay some cryptic clues of that it's Jerry. Jerry's the one who can find the necklace. But where is Jerry right now? In the middle of OKC. So now Stella's going to realize, damn, the only woman who can help me out is not even in the state. So what will she do next? We don't know. But that was it for this week's episode of Walker. Which again, I liked it. I really did. Was very more like, taking a step back, very much like kind of, resetting the field, kind of like, repositioning some things as we go along, really trying to figure out where do we go from here. I'm very more curious to see how much further down the rabbit hole Cordell's going to go into, whether James is going to even allow this type of action to continue, whether they're both going to go down this rabbit hole together now that kind of Cordell is like lost his like, his sense of reasoning on this mission. I really don't know how the whole necklace thing is going to turn out. I don't know if that's really going to be like, are we going to get like such a big tie to the overall, like the Hoyt connection of things, with Independence, like who the hell really knows? I wouldn't be surprised if we got a flashback. I wouldn't be surprised by this point. I just feel like we're teeing up something to that. It has to be important. Like, there has to be a reason why this necklace is important. There has to be a reason, then not just like trying to shoe in some Independence references over there. But honestly, just the way things are going, we are trying to like build up the stage for like the next progression for both of these storylines, but as well as trying to like build that somewhat of a semblance of like a post Walker Roar. Where do we see things going into once the main conflict is over? So I feel like they're doing a good job of balancing both things, and I'm very hopeful to see how they're all going to wrap it up for good as we approach the end. But for now, I'm going to give this episode 2 thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this week's episode of Walker. I would love to hear your thoughts down below as always. But I believe that's going to do it for me tonight, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's 2 from ActionX, reviewing every episode in the final season of Walker. If you want to know what we're doing or What's 2 besides our Walker episode reviews, right now we are doing some rookie reviews each and every week after Brandon says on ABC. But if you don't care about Walker, you're still in luck. We'll be back next week with another brand new episode review. It might be a little late though. I might have some personal things to take care of, so I do apologize if the next week's episode is a little bit late. I'm hoping to get it out by next week. If not, I'm just keeping you guys warned. I will be late on some episode reviews. I do have a vacation planned in the first week of June, so I will be away. I could record it locally if I choose to, but considering that my recent vacations have not been very much free time wise, because it is a vacation. I do want to take advantage of my time off. I know I have done Walker reviews on vacations before. This being different, so yeah, so there is a chance we might not be able to get some Walker reviews out on time for the next few episodes, but will still deliver them on time as our current schedule allows, and once we are wrapping it up, once we get to those final episodes later in June. So bear with me for a little bit. So I do apologize, but you will be rewarded. So after we finish off with the reviews, we will not be doing season 5 predictions as normally because there will be no season 5 to predict for. So we will just jump into a season 4 spoiler-free review, and then after that, that will call it a wrap on this run of Walker. This another chapter in the What's in the Tube lineage coming to a close. And yeah, but we still have 6 more weeks of Walker to talk about. So I'm grateful for that. So we'll keep going as may be for that one. But again, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Like, favorite, share if you want to. Ring that bell and follow us on social media. But until we see each other again, thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe out there. Be good to each other. And as always, peace out.